2 years ago, Doc Rivers was named a top 15 coach of all time.
Wow.
Top 15 coach of all time.
Mind if I take a closer look? All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all having a good day so far. So I saw this video pop up on my feed, and it's called Doc Rivers Can't Keep Getting Away with This. Doc Rivers is not somebody I've ever really talked about. Hell of a basketball player, one-time champion when it comes to being a coach. And if you guys pay any attention to basketball over the last couple of years, you'll know Doc has not had the greatest track record as a coach lately. So currently he is the new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, as my Phoenix Suns had their old coach, which they fired for Doc. And I think it was a terrible mistake that they did that. We benefited from, an upgrade in coaching position. And Doc Rivers, I'm starting to wonder, man, because his Celtics, players like KG and Paul Pierce, they swear by him, and they do nothing but sing Doc praise. But I don't know. We've seen what's happened year after year with him being a coach, and his teams always crumble. Look at what happened in Philly just recently. But then again, could it possibly be that he's just inheriting bad luck? Like you got two guys like Harden and Embiid. Sounds good on paper, but those guys aren't exactly winners, So do we blame them? Do we blame the coach? But now in Milwaukee, you got Dame and you got Giannis and company. And these guys can't seem to win a freaking game out there. Like last year was last year, but it's a terrible start for Milwaukee. I think their worst start since Giannis has been on their roster. It's really bad. So anyways, says Doc Rivers can't keep getting away with this. I'm very curious about this because I know what I know, but I'm sure there's plenty for me to learn. This is a video from Swish Out. So as I always do, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description. So if you want to check out Swish Out's channel, go for it. Highly recommend it. That's why I'm coming back to another one of his. And everybody else, please leave this video a like. I appreciate y'all. And let's do it.
I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. Mm-hmm. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players' fault. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys.
Last season.
You see, now that would hit harder if that wasn't JJ Redick. Just being totally real. But two things can be true at the same time. So even though I don't like the guy, he could be dead on with his points.
We had a coach in the NBA that might have been the most stubborn coach that I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mr. Ham?
In 2023, after finally trading Russ, the Lakers surprisingly made the conference finals, and they did so with a pretty consistent rotation of players. Now, even with the proven recipe that literally just worked a few months prior, this head coach was obsessed with a new addition to the team named Taurean Prince. And if you want to know exactly how obsessed, listen to this. These are the Lakers players last year that actually played the most minutes, and these are their plus minuses. Taurean Prince, no disrespect, but he quite literally had the worst plus minus on the—
Damn, looking at Austin Reeves plus minus, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I think that's going to vastly improve this year from what I've seen so far. Taurean Prince, yeah, okay. Point well made, sir.
The team, and consistently he played heavy starting minutes. This was oddly the egotistical, stubborn decision of Darvin Ham, and for that he's back being the assistant for the Milwaukee.
What did he write on that board?
Egotistical, stubborn decision of
contest without fouling. Okay, I mean, I don't know if you needed to draw that up on a board like that, but okay.
Of Darvin Ham, and for that he's back being the assistant for the Milwaukee Bucks. And yes, Taurean Prince is still right with him. Darvin now is under, in my opinion, the most overrated coach in NBA history, Doc Rivers. And no, I'm not even saying overrated where you think he's good. I think the majority of the NBA space realizes the glaring flaws in a Doc Rivers-led team.
I've seen this video. Hold up.
The NBA space realizes.
I've seen this. If you guys haven't seen RDC World, I did a reaction to RDC World a long time ago. give me a shout out in the comments and maybe point out a video or two if you want me to do another one, because that was some fun stuff. That was a hilarious channel.
The glaring flaws in a Doc Rivers-led team. I'm more so talking about the people that actually matters. They somehow still think Doc Rivers is great. 2 years ago, Doc Rivers was named a top 15 coach of all time.
Wow.
Top 15 coach of all time.
Mind if I take a closer look? Top 15 of all time in NBA history. Okay, well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where's the okay? Kerr, Pop. I mean, okay. Doc, I don't know. Jerry Sloan, I respect that, even though he didn't win a championship as a head coach. He was a hell of a coach. Spo, okay, I can live with that. Larry Brown, okay. Holzman, Casey Jones, yep. Donnie Nelson, kind of surprised, but I mean, yeah, he was an innovator, that's for sure. Jack Ramsey, I'm sure the other 5 is like Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, and drawing a blank after that, but there's 3 more on this list.
A top 15 coach of all time. Top 15 coach of all time.
Yeah, he doesn't belong there.
Look at this picture really quickly.
Oh, okay.
If you look at all of these.
My bad. What an idiot I am. Could have just waited. Lenny Wilkins. Okay, yeah. Red Auerbach. Duh. Larry Brown. Chuck Daly. Okay, yeah. Phil Jackson. Yeah, that was an obvious one. Anyone else that I didn't see before? Pat Riley called it. Okay. All right.
These coaches' names. All 15 of these quote-unquote legendary coaches' names. Certain coaches have stars by their names. These stars indicate that these coaches are active. Every coach on this list that's active has multiple championships under their belts. Every single one except Doc Rivers.
And it's not even about the championships. It's that he only really had, about 4 years of successful coaching, all with the Celtics. And it led to one championship, but they were a hell of a competitive team year after year there. But how many years was he coaching the Celtics now? Is it 5 years? Because outside of that run, he hasn't really had a successful coaching run at all.
More impressively to me, every active coach on this list, they won an NBA championship or went to a finals with a different version of their team. Everybody except Doc Rivers. Coach Pop won a championship with Tim Duncan and David Robinson playing more of an inside-out game in the 90s. It was no Tony Parker. It was no Manu. It was no Kawhi. And then he won a championship in 2014, completely spacing the floor. Eric Spoelstra won 2 NBA championships with the Big Three, obviously. And then more impressively, he got back to the finals with 2 teams that had significantly less talent to me than the opposition.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's what I was going to say too, because what makes Spo so impressive isn't exactly those 2 championships. It is the fact that with, I got to say it, teams with not a lot of talent, like he's been dealing with just subpar teams, and somehow he's getting those guys to the finals or at least deep in the playoffs every year. They're contenders, even though I don't feel like they should be. And year after year, I keep getting proven wrong because they end up there deep in the playoffs. And yeah, what can I say? Spo's a hell of a coach, and everyone who's ever played under him, they all just say he's a fantastic coach. So yeah, it can't be a fluke.
That was pure coaching, and it completely destroyed the he needed LeBron and the Big Three narrative.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, love him or hate him, he won an NBA championship with the young, unproven Warriors, the Kevin Durant juggernaut Warriors, and the Warriors that had the blend of young and old talent. My point is, these coaches earned their spot on that list, and they had multiple different tests throughout their careers. Everybody except Doc Rivers. What about the dude that actually has the slimmest resume of them all, despite arguably coaching the most talent? Think about it like this, and I say this all the time. These are all the players that Doc Rivers has coached throughout his career, and he has one sole championship to show for it.
I forget about the Clippers thing too, man. Them not winning a championship is that's the first time I started really questioning him. Yeah, T-Mac in Orlando, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, KG, Rondo, all Celtics, CP3, Blake, Jordan, Crawford, sorry. Yeah, I wouldn't brag about Ben Simmons, Kawhi for sure, PG, Harden, Embiid, Lillard, and Giannis now. Yeah, that's a hell of a list of stars.
I can't even think of a coach that's actually done less with more. I just can't. Last year, the Milwaukee Bucks hired first-time head coach Adrian Griffin. And looking back on it with 2020 hindsight now, this man really got a tough deal. When he got the job, Dame wasn't even there. Dame showed up around training camp. Terry Stotts, Dame's old coach, he got hired and then left right before the season even started.
I remember that.
That was a pretty significant blow. The Milwaukee Bucks, despite how it might have looked, despite how the defense looked, whatever, they were 30-13 when Adrian Griffin got fired. Actually think about how insane that was.
I know. They actually downgraded is the crazy thing, because we all had high expectations for the Bucks with Dame and Giannis. So it's the thing we do nowadays. And by we, I don't necessarily mean me, but that's what the league does nowadays. Who's going to be the punching bag? It's going to be the coach. And look at that. They went through two coaches in one season. And right? Within one season, they went through two different coaches.
It's a 70% winning percentage for a first-time head coach. And at that time, that was only second to Boston.
Yeah.
A man actually lost his job after doing what was actually expected. To be honest, it really made no sense.
Nah, it's a crime.
Yeah, the defense was pretty mid, but the personnel obviously changed.
Yeah, they just thought Doc was the golden child. So they made a big boo-boo because they burned a bridge with potentially a good coach. We'll never really get to know unless we see him get another job. But he was doing a good job considering how new the team was. The foundation of the team was between those two stars. And we'll never know. We'll never know how it would have worked out. I don't know what it is with Doc. How is this not working, you guys? How is it? Between Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, how are they not figuring anything out? Solid big man, solid perimeter player. Pick and rolls, pick and pops. Like, it doesn't take much thought to figure out how to make this work between them. But somehow it's just not working. Some say it's a lack of perimeter defense because Dame is on there. But can it really just be all that?
They lost Drew Holiday and brought in Dame. Drew Holiday was just voted the best defensive player in the league by his peers the year prior. So what happened was actually to be expected. If you look at the offense with Griffin, they were second in the league only to Indiana. They did exactly what we expected.
Wow.
Take a leap offensively and take a big step back defensively. And the man got fired for it.
Jump in like this to get this team where it needs to go.
Listen, I've never done this. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I can tell you that just from the day and a half. I should have waited until after All-Star break. You know, this was a tough stretch.
And then they brought in...
Okay, fair. He is making excuses. Fair. Most regular season wins. Doc Rivers at number 9. All time, huh? Pop number 1, no surprise. Man, it's crazy to think Phil Jackson's not on top of that list, but it's because really, he didn't coach that long. The guy just won a lot of rings, man. He won 11 rings as a coach. Insanity. He's like the Larry Bird of the situation, or the Magic Johnson of the GOAT conversation. It's like, how did you win that much in such a short amount of time?
Doc Rivers. And I get they said he was helping Adrian Griffin, mentoring him, whatever. But my question is, why? With his very lackluster, choking resume, why does he keep getting these great opportunities and coaching these great mega superstars?
Yeah.
Like, why? Now, I'm not even saying Doc Rivers is a bad coach. I'm not even saying that. He typically gives his team a pretty solid floor. Doc Rivers teams are typically not bad. They just simply underachieve. But this year is a little bit different.
Yeah, Doc Rivers teams are usually actually really good, but they crumble in the playoffs. And that's been a reputation outside of one season.
This Milwaukee Bucks tenure seems a little bit different. Right now, the Milwaukee Bucks, they have the worst record in the entire Eastern Conference.
Damn.
That team is 1-6 for the first time since 2000. This is the worst start of Giannis's career.
Okay, called it. Called it. Okay. Damn. Yeah, I thought that was the gravity of the situation. Because last I looked, it was 1-6 was the record.
Team has been on pretty bad teams. This is the worst start to his career since Doc even got the job. The Milwaukee Bucks are somehow 6 games below 500. When Adrian Griffin was the head coach, it was always that question as to how can Dame and Giannis play better together. They're the two best players, so they have to feed off each other well so everyone else can eat seamlessly. Doc Rivers is the player's coach, so he was kind of brought there because he's coached a lot of stars together. He's supposed to fix that, right?
I know. If considering he coached Lob City in LA, you know, just run the same strategy that you ran with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre. Like, that's all you got to. To me, that's all you got to do, at least to get the chemistry going between them. Pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll. Just get it down. It feels like, it makes me wonder, are these two actually practicing together? Or are they just doing independent training? Because, like, put them in some 2-on-2 situations, some street ball style play. That way they can formulate a flow together, rely on each other, learn each other's tendencies. How is this so hard is what I'm trying to figure out. Because this isn't new. This is their second season together. I don't know. Am I crazy, guys? Let me know in the comments. What am I missing? Why can't these two figure something out? It seems so obvious watching their two styles individually, how easily they should mesh and dominate together.
Well, get this. When Adrian Griffin was the head coach, that duo was 29-9 together.
Okay.
With Doc Rivers, they're 15-12.
How is it possible?
How the hell does that even happen?
I don't know.
Like, how did they get worse?
Right?
Taking a job when you're about to go on the toughest road trip of the season is not the smartest decision. My Orlando team was the 8th seed. The Clipper team that we lost 3-1. Chris Paul didn't play in the first 2 games and was playing on one leg. And then the last one, to me, is the one we blew. That's the one I said, we blew that. And that was in the bubble. And anything can happen in the bubble. There's no home court. Game 7 would have been in LA.
Oh my God, LeBron James alert. Okay, I'm with it. Doc is full of excuses. He is full of excuses. No accountability. I am with it. He can't keep getting away with this. Man. Fire him and apologize to, what was it, Coach Griffin? apologize. Say, so sorry, I'm going to give you a raise. Please come back and coach my guys.
Doc Rivers, and I say this all the time, but I normally say this in the context of Chris Paul. He's a coach that blew this lead in a playoff game. Doc Rivers, after being up 3-1 with a chance to make their first Western Conference Finals appearance ever. Also,
hold on, I got to let that sink in for a second.
He's a coach that blew this lead.
So they're up by 7 points with 50 seconds left. Yeah, they lose that, huh? That's rough.
Lead in a playoff game. Doc Rivers.
They took the lead with 2 seconds left, or 6 seconds left.
Rivers, after being up 3-1 with a chance to make their first Western Conference Finals appearance ever, also blew this lead. Doc Rivers with a completely different version of the Clippers team, being up 3-1 again. He blew this lead in Game 5, this lead in Game 6, and then this lead in Game 7. It's ridiculous. The following season, with the first-seeded Philly team and an MVP candidate on his team, Doc Rivers blew this lead against Trae Young's Atlanta team with a chance to go up 3-2 at home. Doc Rivers also had a closeout Game 6 on his home court, and he simply couldn't get it done. Top 15 where? If you really want to see exactly how epic those collapses really were, these are the recent fourth quarters in those series in which he choked those.
Led 3-1 against Denver. Led 2-1 against Atlanta. Led 3-2 against. Yeah, man, he just crumbles. Yeah. What is he doing in the top 15 all time? That is rough. That's not okay.
Those leads. Look at how bad they were. Yes, we can blame Joel Embiid. Yes, we can blame James Harden. We can blame Kawhi, Paul George, Chris Paul, whoever. But at some point, the top 15 head coach has to have a better plan. The Milwaukee Bucks actually pulled this man down from calling games on ESPN just to significantly get worse. Mike Budenholzer, the coach they actually fired after being the first seed and just losing his star in the first round, How exactly is he doing now? Doc Rivers
Yeah.
is the most fortunate
Yep.
head coach I've ever seen.
Yep.
And he has one sole championship to show for it.
I'm happy with the exchange. I think they made a huge mistake, but I'm happy. I'm happy right now as a Suns fan. You know, these guys have let me down plenty of times, so I'm a little worried. I'm a little scared about getting too invested, but I am enjoying this coaching change. And we went from the worst fourth quarter team in the league last year to right now we're closing games out. The only concern is I'm seeing a lot of games we're struggling in the first quarter to find our offensive flow, and our defense is lacking in the first quarters. But if we can figure that out, we are a solid team. We're a decent team. We're a decent team. We'll see what happens.
It's insane. If you guys like this video, let me know in the comment section what you guys feel about this topic. Somebody in my last video commented and said, bro, Doc Rivers, how does he keep getting passes? And bro, I'm right with you. Follow my social media sites, turn on post notifications, all that great stuff, guys. And until next time, as always, stay tuned.
For sure. Good video. Very good video. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. Links down below if you guys wanna check this one out on your own, or check out the channel on your own. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Obviously, I don't believe he should be top 15 coaches of all time. That's just a weird thing to put him on there. Unless we're gonna put every single coach that ever won a championship on there, which I think is, it's impossible anyways. Is he a phony? I've heard a lot of my friends and a lot of people in the community just say, no, he's just, he's not for real. He's a phony, like he's not a real coach, essentially. Just like what happened in Boston wasn't him. That was the willpower of the big three out there between Ray Allen, KG, and Paul Pierce. And Rondo. Sorry, got to throw him in there too. And that might just be the case. Years ago, I didn't believe it. I'm like, yeah, you guys just being hard on him. He had a couple of bad seasons, a couple of disappointments. But now with Milwaukee I didn't believe in him in Philly. So I guess that's when I had already lost faith. But now seeing what he's doing in Milwaukee, like they're on pace for being like the worst team in the East. Commissioner Dynamo, man, if you watch this, like you got some competition in the East for the worst team. So at least that should make someone happy. But yeah, let me know down below. What do you guys think about Doc? I'm not dissing him as a hooper. Man, the guy was a hell of a basketball player. I've got nothing but respect for him. But as a coach, is he the real deal? Or has he just been tricking organizations? And it's nothing for real. Is JJ Redick's opinion of him valid? Because it sounds like he was actually right. Because JJ was pissed off saying that Doc basically just keeps blaming everybody else but himself. He's doing the LeBron James thing. And from what I've seen, I think JJ might be right on this one. Like I said, I can dislike JJ, but I can also agree with him if I think he's correct on something. And I think he might be correct on this. So let me know down below what you guys thought. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Guys, we are on the road to 100K now. I know it's a long road, but we just got over that 50K sub hump. And so thankful for everybody. Crazy ride so far. And I don't know if we'll ever hit that 100K mark, but all I can tell you is I'm going to keep doing the same thing I'm always doing. Just being me, doing my thing. And we'll see if we get there, all right? Either way, I'm so appreciative of everybody. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all in the comments, okay? Peace out.